What's good, everybody? Daniel Cruz here, back with another episode of Cook with Cruz. Today we're going to be breaking down another beat as requested. It's also one of my more favorite beats that I've made recently, so this should be fun breaking this one down. The beat is called Layback on my channel. If you heard it already or want to go check it out before we begin the video, I appreciate the people leaving comments on which beats you guys want to see broken down. Keep leaving me those comments. I believe I have a list of like 4 more beats that I can break down for you guys that people have requested. So by all means, comment on this video or go to the video on my channel of the beat that you want to see broken down. Just leave me a comment, I'll see it and I'll note it down and then I'll break it down for you guys. So as always, before we jump into today's video, please leave a thumbs up for me. Really helps me out and I appreciate you guys that do so. Make sure you're subscribed as always as well. I'll be back on another Sunday to keep doing these videos for you guys. But otherwise, let's jump into it and see how Layback was made. Alright, so starting the beat off, came across a really dope sample by Teddy Jones. Shout out to Teddy Jones. I'm going to go ahead and play the raw file just so you can hear what I came across that sparked the idea for this beat. So there goes the raw file right there. Sounds dope to me. That's my kind of progression I like to work with. So as far as changes that I've done to the sample, I pitched it up 100 cents. This brought it into C minor, I believe. I'm working in on this beat. I also sped it up too. I believe we were running at 80 or 160. Now I'm running at 174. I thought speed it up would give it a little more of a bounce. I think the flow would sound a little better for the artist as well. When it's sped up to this tempo. I didn't do anything else to the sample. This is just a blank EQ and I just added reverb to it, that's all. So that's all we added for the sample really. Let's run it back so we can hear what we have now. So that's what it sounds like now after those small tweaks. So to me, when I was making the beat, the sample was everything. So I really didn't want to add much, just small little things to accent the sample. As I'll show you here in a second, I left the first verse super open, again, because I think the sample just really drives the track. So just based on how I structured it, the only thing I'm going to add coming into the first verse is a bass here. And the bass I'm using is in Contact. It's the Scarby Rickenbacker bass. This should be the palm muted preset. But as we can see in here, all I'm really doing is just playing the root notes of the chords. Super simple. I forgot to mention one thing about the sample as far as effects goes. If you can see this automation clip here, this is an EQ automation, and that's going to trigger this EQ right here, which is like a wide band pass, and I cut out a lot of the highs, a lot of the lows. I turned this on at the beginning of the verse because it kind of duels out the sample a little bit to give the artist room to breathe, pretty much. I don't want all the crazy highs you can see here, or the lows really, because I have the bass now coming in. So let me run it back now. You should be able to hear a slight difference in the sample, especially if you're wearing headphones, when the automation for the EQ comes on. So there goes that. As I mentioned before, I really wanted the beat super open, at least how the verse comes in. To me, the sample just gives it like a super poetic feel, so just didn't really want much drums going on. So after we move along, after our first 4 bars, I do add this percussive loop here just to kind of give us a little rhythm going. And then moving on to the next part of the verse, I'm actually thinning it out more. I take out the bass, but the percussion loop still stays here. And if you've seen at the end there, this is getting ready for the drop. This is where I'm going to bring the drums in. But before we get into the drums, I do add some Rhodes, just basically layering the chords of the guitar on the sample. And for our Rhodes, this is in the Vintage Keys folder, Breakfast in New York preset. I didn't want the Rhodes to pop out too much. I just kind of wanted it to thicken or accent the chords of the guitar. So one thing I did in the mixer here, we put on reverb, but we turned the mix all the way up. So this is just basically all reverb on the Rhodes. So this is going to give us a super airy feel for the Rhodes. And again, I'm just playing the chords of the guitar. So that's going to sit well in the background of the sample. So now we can move on to the drums, and the drums are super simple. Let's go ahead and start off with our kick. We have a basic rim snare here. A shaker to accent everything. And in the playlist here, I have this somewhat of like a vintage closed hat loop here. And of course, all that's going to play with the original percussion loop that we had in the beginning of the verse. So here's what our drums are going to sound like. Super simple, but that's all we really need. So let's run it back now and see how everything sounds together. So now moving on to the hook section of the beat. I'm going to thin out the beat in the beginning here and just kind of do like an improvised piano run that I did. I thought it sounded nice. And then for the second half of the hook part, the drums are going to come back in. And just in case you were wondering, we're of course running Keyscape for our piano. LA Custom C7 Cinematic is the preset. All I did in the mixer here was add some reverb, just a little bit. So let me run to the hook now, playing the improvised piano part that I recorded so we can see how everything sounds. So there goes our piano section and hook all together. Nothing else was added. As you can hear, I just kind of structured out the drums. But that's all I added to the beat. That's all I really needed. And after that, we're just going to rinse and repeat and go into the second verse. And as you can see there, I had the drums coming right away now, because once we had our initial drop on the drums, I wanted to keep that same energy throughout the beat. But yeah, that's all there is. That's how I made Layback. Real simple and easy. That's all we really need for this beat here. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's breakdown. Leave a thumbs up on the video if you liked today's breakdown. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the beat as well if it's your first time hearing it. I appreciate all you guys' feedback on it, and of course keep leaving me comments on which beats you want to see me break down next. I'm writing them all down so I don't forget to get to those, so keep leaving me those comments. But yeah, otherwise make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next Sunday's episode. But that is all for me today. I will see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.